Let's bring him on. You know him. It's the coach, James Young. Welcome to the party.
It's always a pleasure to be on with you. Yes, Ariel, typically on travel days, you'll get an extra day of rest. They did it, obviously, for now. I think the problem is,
Aaron Gordon would love that. That's what he wants for the whole playoff.
Well, as he wants for the whole playoffs, but he ain't getting that shit. So he can cry while his Nuggets.
If we had to do this many days off in between the entire playoffs, the NBA season would go from October until August.
It basically almost does. I mean, it goes until almost the end of June. So yeah, I mean, I like only one day off in between if there's no change in city. But generally they do 2 days. And it's usually only in the finals. The Knicks series, I think, was pretty much 1 day in between straight through. So really it's weird. Kind of depends on the series and the matchup.
It's crazy to think, too, that Golden State, if they were to have won that last game, would have had, 5 days off in between because of poor scheduling? Dummies. Yes. Absolute dummies. Okay, we'll get to the NBA in a second since it is tomorrow. WNBA time. We've got 2 games on the slate. First, you've got a game coming up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Indiana Fever, still without Caitlin Clark. Atlanta Dream at home, -5, total 161. How are you playing this?
Well, I'm going over in the game tonight in that matchup between the Fever and the Dream. I'm also looking at Ryan Howard over 17.5 points. You got to realize no Caitlin Clark, but Indiana doesn't really play defense, and the Atlanta Dream like to get up and down, which is kind of weird with that double big lineup of Brianna Jones and, of course, Brittany Griner. So I'm going to go over in that game along with Ryan Howard over points. And dun, 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 guess who's back? The worst team in the WNBA. That's right. Your Chicago Sky are in action tonight, getting, ready, folks, not 1, not 2, but 2 touchdowns and the 2-point conversion. They're getting 16 points. So I'm like, okay, do I really want to do this after the Liberty beat them by 30? I'm going to just go first quarter -5.5 points. Liberty, one of the best, if not the best defensive team. Chicago Sky can't fucking score. Not only that, Courtney Vandersloot tore her ACL over the weekend. They are awful. If you can still get under 13.5 wins, I will take it. If you can find a team with the most losses in the WNBA, I'll take that as well. Chicago Sky and the New York Liberty, they go under tonight.
Okay, this is the double-digit spread, like you said. When it comes to props, I know in the NBA, I have to usually steer clear of props in a double-digit spread. How would you approach props in this spot?
No, I would just look at maybe if you could look at first quarter, props. Maybe look at someone like, because you got to remember, Jonquel Jones is out for the New York Liberty. I mean, she's a game-time decision, so we'll see. And the line is up to 17.5, so that must mean I'm looking right now. Jonquel may be in the lineup because that thing jumped in the last half hour. It was 16. It's up to 17.5. So Brianna Stewart first quarter points is over 5.5 at -112. If I know that I'm not getting, Jonquel tonight, I would look at Brianna Stewart over to 5.5 in the first quarter. Typically, she'll play the first 8 or 9 minutes, and the Liberty have just been absolutely just rolling teams, particularly teams that are not good. So take a look at Liberty in the first quarter. If you want to look at get off to a good start, Brianna Stewart over her points prop of 5.5 at -112 on FanDuel. I wouldn't bother with. I would not be mad at you one bit.
Caitlin Clark, what's the update?
They're starting to ramp up. I think they would love her to play Saturday. Why? It's Liberty versus the Fever, nationally televised game. So I think that's the game they want to have her back. I just don't know because you want to get her back for the ratings, but you also want to get her back for the entire season. So I think the league is a little bit nervous about her not coming back and not being back long enough. So to me, this team should be playing better than what they are. It was really Kelsey Mitchell that was struggling. Of course, remember Sophie Cunningham, who has she's been in the news for other reasons. Sophie Cunningham.
It's those legs.
As well.
Just kidding.
I just I had to do it. So yeah. I do think they want to get her back, but to me, what's interesting is as they struggle. I think we talked about this. Maybe we haven't. If you are looking at Caitlin Clark in the MVP market, the longer that they struggle without her and the more she drops in price, if she comes back and they go on a run, I know Nafisa Collier is the runaway MVP right now. They'll find a way to get it to Caitlin Clark because they'll say how valuable she is by missing time. So I think, if she comes back healthy and they go on a run, I wouldn't be surprised if Caitlin Clark makes another run at this MVP title this year.
Coach, similar to when you get a star player back in the NBA and the NFL, sometimes there could be a little bit too much of the number baked in. Like sometimes the line just moves a little too much in favor of them. Sometimes their points are overvalued. How would you approach that first game if it is against the Liberty with Caitlin Clark back?
I think that the best thing to do with Caitlin Clark is maybe look at the assist market. She's going to have Natasha Cloud if she comes back in the game, and Natasha Cloud is one of the best defenders in the WNBA. I would really look at Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston have and it's going to sound crazy, but they have a John Stockton, Karl Malone pick and roll, where they read each other so well. You watch Aaliyah Boston, when she comes back, she'll jump up in points. Maybe look at Aaliyah Boston points, go Caitlin Clark assists as CC tries to get Aaliyah going on that pick and roll.